Thanks for inviting us in. It's now 11 o'clock, and tonight there are more questions surrounding the Delphi murders as the Carroll County judge removes himself from the case. All of this follows several complaints from the judge about public and media interest in the sealed probable cause affidavit. So tonight at 11, we want to get right to Rachel Krause to find out what we know about the new judge assigned to this case. Rachel?
Yeah, and Scott, court documents show a Carroll County judge is recusing himself from court proceedings for one of the county's most critical cases. Richard Allen faces murder charges for his alleged role in the 2017 Delphi murders that killed Abby Williams and Libby German. Now, Judge Benjamin Diener has taken himself off the case, saying he didn't feel safe. The Delphi community spent 5 years waiting for an arrest in the case after the 2017 murders of Abby Williams and Libby German. Last week brought relief for families and for many around town after an arrest was made. Richard Allen of Delphi now facing charges of murder. But new court documents show Judge Benjamin Diener recused himself in the case, which the Indiana Supreme Court confirmed earlier this afternoon. In court filings, Judge Diener writes he was attempting to ignore the maelstrom of interest from the public, saying there was already content about his family on YouTube, including photos. Judge Diener writes the public's bloodlust for information before it exists is extremely dangerous. And when the public peddles misinformation with reckless abandon, we all are not safe. A spokesperson for the Indiana Supreme Court says they're in the process of appointing Allen County Judge Fran Gull as a special judge in the Delphi murder case in Diener's place. Gull has served as a judge in Allen County for more than 20 years, overseeing several significant cases, including Bob Leonard's trial after the Richmond Hill explosion. That explosion set deliberately as part of an insurance scam, killing 2 on Indy's south side and leading to the destruction of 30 homes 10 years ago, next Thursday.
The enormity of the case, the amount of destruction, the death, the descriptions that you hear, that it's like a war zone. So.
A judge doesn't have to give a specific reason for recusing themselves in the case. There are several reasons that would require a judge to step away, though, including personal bias or prejudice of a person or their attorney, if they have personal knowledge of disputed facts in the case, or having a close relationship to someone involved in the case. And while the future of the judge in Allen's criminal case now appears to be decided, information on what led to Allen's arrest is still under wraps. Those records are still sealed by the court. Court filings did reveal, however, that when the defendant appeared for his initial hearing, he was wearing protective gear. Judge Diener writes that was not to protect Allen from the court, but rather that protection was to protect the defendant from the public.
Just tonight, we learned that Richard Allen has been transferred to a state prison here in Indiana. The court says it's for safekeeping, saying that he's in imminent danger of being hurt or killed. Here's a look at what we also know tonight about the suspect in this case. Allen's initial bail was set at $20 million following his arrest. Several days later, the prosecutor said Allen is now being held with no bond. This case returns to court on November 22nd. That's when they'll hold a hearing to decide whether or not key documents in the case will remain under seal. And another development today, Kelsey German, Libby's sister, posted this. If you have a minute today, please sign this petition to keep the probable cause documents sealed. As we focus on the next steps in this investigation and the future court hearings, we're also looking back on how we've covered this story since February of 2017. Saturday night at 7, we'll air the Delphi Murders Arrest Special. This will feature a new interview with Indiana State Police. Again, that's Saturday night at 7 o'clock.
Moving now to developments in the case against Kegan Kline, the Miami County prosecutor is asking the court to dismiss 5 charges in the child pornography case against him. Kline's been in jail for more than 2 years, waiting to go on trial for 30 counts of child porn possession, exploitation, and obstruction of justice. Kline admitted to creating the fake Anthony Schatz profile online, which was one of the last to communicate with Libby German before her death. But to be clear, Kline has never been named a suspect in the Delphi murders.